And welcome back, everyone. This is part three of building com4rat. So when I last left off, we had now decided to change the placement of our items through JavaScript because the CSS parallax was just too complicated for no reason. I made some changes. I did make some changes while I was off screen because I did need to do some more research. So here's what I did, because I think in the last video I tried to position the planets by myself with CSS, which was not ideal. So instead, this is what I did. Let me run you through the code of what I typed. So what we do here, let's start with the HTML so you see the things we're getting. So we've got these classes. We've got layer planets, we've got a layer constellations, and a layer stars, the things we need. We also have a parallax container. This is a class as well. These are all important. The IT planets is key for the other things we're doing. So with that in mind, let me actually split the screen so we can see both of them before I go to show you what I did. So right here, as we see, we create selector. No, this one. Let's go to the HTML, the 9jax. So layer planets, we target this one, the planets layer, the constellations layer, and the stars layer, right? Then this is for the positions, because I wanted them to randomize such that every time someone comes to the site, they have a different layout. That way it feels more alive. The galaxy is not static, it's constantly moving, the activity and stuff. Then we built this function that would give you a random percentage of that takes a minimum and maximum, and it would return a random, so it randomly places it on the canvas. I'm gonna need to put some padding overly on the body so it doesn't touch the edge of the screen, but that's a bit later. Then what we do is to render planets. So what we do, we loop through all of the planets, however many we have from the galaxy.js file, which we're going to get back to in a little while. So we're going to loop over each of them that we have here, and a random percent that is both 10 from the edge and 90 from the edge, so it doesn't touch the edges. I still need to add more padding. And then from each of those, this is the position. That's where we call this function, planet positions, and then we place it. We place the planet ID, which we get from here from galaxy stuff. Where is it? These are stars. Star one. Okay, stars need to be first. So this planet ID, then we place it with the x and y coordinates. After that, we then create the element, our div element. With the class list, we add the class list of planet, which is important for the CSS that I'm going to show you. And then the dataset is planet ID, and the text content is going to be the planet icon and the name that we have here. So Soul Symphony and something like that. But right, and then the style, same thing, style to the left to the top, because it's absolutely positioned. All of the planets, the stars, and the galaxies are absolutely positioned, so we can move them around. Then we do the same thing for constellations. We do the same thing for the stars. Right, it's the same type of code. Then what we need to do, because like we said, I wanted such that if we hover over the constellation name, the stars surrounding it increase the opacity. So with that in mind, let's go to the CSS. Now within the CSS, we've got our parallax container and our parallax layers, which are all of these that we looked at before. We just give them the same styles I had before: absolute positioning, top 0, 100% 0. Then within the layer stars, we needed the opacity to be 1.6 and its z-index to be 1, right? And then with constellations, opacity is 1.8. It's a bit more visible, and its layer index is 2. It's higher, closer than the stars. Same thing with the planets. The planets are a z-index of 3, which are even closer because the planets need to be closest. Now for all of them, we position them absolute. Our pointer events are auto. Then for the planet specifically, we increase the font size. This is from open props, and then give it a cursor pointer. We do the same for the constellation label, which we are doing here in this file. Constellation label, here we add constellation label to the thing, to the div, and that's what's in there. So we give it also size, and we make it a cursor pointer. Then because we're doing a hover transition for opacity, so why don't we do font size and opacity of 0.5, which will overwrite what I had here for the stars because of the cascade, of the CSS cascade. I might take it away. Then we need a transition opacity of 0.3 seconds, and it eases. Reason being, in here in our JavaScript, right, what we have is constellation hover. We get the constellation, it's constellation layer dot query selector constellation label. That's what we need to get. If the constellation elements, right, we map through all of them, and if the ID is matches, what does that mean? If the ID of a constellation, where are my constellations? Like here, constellation, right? If the ID of constellation matches the ID that's in any of these stars, you see here in any of these stars, right? It's constellation jazz, and if this matches, that means they're related, they're closer together. And what we're gonna do after that is we're going to attach an ID, the data of ID to it, to the related stars. So that's all of them. They're all under the stars layer. So we're connecting the constellation label to the stars layer. So when you hover over the constellation, it increases the opacity. That's what this does. We add an event listener of mouse enter, because that's what hover is. It's a mouse enter event. There is no hover event in JavaScript, in HTML and CSS. So this is the event that we fire anytime mouse enter happens. This I was console logging to make sure everything is correct. So the related stars, which we made here, right, now get an opacity that is equal to 1. They're now more visible. Then mouse leave, the opacity goes back. We remove the opacity. Then we call the functions. We render the planets, we render constellations, we render the stars, and we render this setup constellation hover. This order is important. They need to be in this order. These functions need to be called exactly in this order. Otherwise, weird things happen. Now, for the parallax scroll, which we already saw the parallax scroll, we're going to go over through it again. So the layers, these are query selector all, everything that has parallax layer here, all of these, we get all of those again. And we create a function called update parallax. What it does, the container top is the parallax container offset, which is this guy. This is our parallax container, the offset of it, of the top of it. That's what we need to get. Then our scroll Y position is equal to, we subtract it from the container top. Then for each of the layers, the speed, we pass a float of the data set of the speed. Why are we doing this? Because if you noticed, I've put a data speed on each of these parallax layers. So the speed at which they move is different. So it feels again more alive. Now with that data speed, the layer.data speed, we then transform it and we'll translate it by y on the y-axis with the scroll Y position multiplied by the speed. So we're going to get the scroll Y, then we'll multiply it by 0.2, and that's the speed at which it's going to scroll. Then lastly, we add an event listener to the window, the scroll event. Then we request the animation frame. The animation frame is going to be this guy, the update parallax. That's what needs to happen. Then finally, this was me testing. This can go. This was merely testing. This function is not important. This was debugging. So with that in mind, let's go and see what we have now. Let's cd com4rat. I hope what I said makes sense. If there's anything that doesn't, please let me know. I will try to be more succinct in my explanations, because I do this better if I'm writing it for some reason, because I have more time to think about it. This is in live process. Let's try and load it now. So you see now we've got our jazz layer, our soul symphony is right over there, and if I were to hover over jazz, you see that they get brighter, which is actually cool. This is part of what we needed, what I wanted to do. Where's the other one? Do I not have? Oh, see, then there's Jazz Fusion, then there's the CD. Here they are. So they are, because they're, let's reload. If I reload, it's more visible when they're, see, they're scrolling at different levels, just giving us the parallax effect that things are moving and stuff, which is quite good for what we wanted to do. What I'm gonna do next now is now add more albums, add more songs, so we fill up the galaxy. I could actually now, for testing purposes, I want to make the background black. Remove this image, turn this image off for a while, just so I see my elements on their own. So where is the body? Let's do this. Let's do background, not image but background. Make it black. Save that. Let's see. So at least I can see the elements on their own. See, there they are. Like it's scrolling nicely. Might end up just making an SVG that repeats itself on the background, but who knows. Now for the additional albums and planets, I went and asked the robots because I was not going to be doing that by myself. Where's the file that I made that I asked the robots? Yeah, here, the data.js. So what the robot did for me, or helped me do with the instructions that I gave it, we're going to make a function that's called make stars. Make stars takes a constellation ID, a planet ID, a count, and a start index. Then constars create an array. Then for let I is equal to count, which is this guy. This is general JavaScript. You guys should know this by now. What's important now is when we do stars.push, the ID is equal to stars num. Num comes from here. We declared num is start index plus 1. So that's where the num goes. The name is going to be this track string. The num we pad we padded by 2, pad start by 2, and we add a 0. So we're going to do this for, I think I asked for 10 stars in each album. Then we create Jazz Fusion stars. Then we make these equal to make stars, planet Jazz Fusion, constellation Jazz. We will get for 10 and once. We do the same for the planets. This is voltage star house. So we make the stars, call it planet voltage, and constellation house. And voltage stars, again, we make the stars. So we're making the stars for the planets, right? So let's go back to the function. So firstly we take the planet ID, right? Then we take the constellation ID. So this is the planet ID, this is the constellation ID. This is the planet ID, constellation ID, the number of the number of songs or stars in the constellation of the planet. We do this a bunch of times because I needed exactly 3 of them. Then what we're going to do after we've made these variables, we're going to now create the actual nocturne stars. We're going to spread the nocturne stars ambient and spread nocturne stars synthwave. So these guys and these guys. We see here it's 5, here it's 5, and yeah, whatever. This is just to randomize the numbers as it were. Then we do the same thing for constellation Jazz. I think so. It's basically the same type of code repeating over itself, right, a bunch of times. So we have more things going on. And at the end we export default stars, we export all of the stars, we export all of the constellations, we export all of the planets, because I wanted specifically 3 planets, but the constellations can be several, so it fills up everything. So what we're going to do now is we're going to copy this file, because we made it, me and the robot made it, and then we're just going to paste it into here, and hopefully that fills up our page and it looks more alive and active. And there we go, boom. You see, these are the, and okay, we're scrolling, here we go. Synthwave, see, come here to techno, we come to house. You see they're all like hovering individually, which is actually not bad, which is actually quite good. I think I'm gonna need to give us more space, more breathing room, but it looks fine though. This is more an issue of how random works more than anything. But you see here, these hover, come here, these hover, here these hover, those are still not opaque enough. Then these hover, come to ambient. Where's ambient has no stars. Interesting. But generally the effect I was going for is still working. Let me go and check what's going on with ambient. Let's see, ambient planet voltage, that's fine. Fine, constellation ambient stars, atmosphere, slow building, stars, nocturne stars, ambient. Let's go look for nocturne stars, ambient. Nocturne stars ambient, planet nocturne, it's 5 and 21. Interesting. Maybe the 21 was the problem. But generally what we're trying to achieve is there. This is what we want, planet nocturne, synthwave. So now the more important thing is now to have a click event on the clicking of this nocturne thing. But this I'm very happy with. This hover, I'm so happy about this. You guys have no idea how happy I'm about this. So you see, every single time we reload, the layout changes. It's all different. Load again. See, everything is in a different place. It's alive. The galaxy is alive. So like I said, I want to add more padding to the body itself, so things are not jumped up to the side, bunched up to the side. So I'm gonna do padding. Let's try 5 rem. See if that does anything. Do we move things inside a bit? Yeah, see, now at least there's now more space below the thingies. Take notice now. Yeah, so because of how randomize works, sometimes the hover will be temperamental, but for most part it's working. So what's not hovering? Ambient is not working. Jazz is working fine. Jazz works sometimes, it doesn't sometimes. Techno's working. Ambient is the one that's actually not working. But that's fine. That is fine. So with that being said, let's go and look for Angela Holden's 30 Days of JavaScript. There it is. There it is. See that I'm constantly stalking the site. Come here. What we need is a modal dialog. So what I'm going to do is just do the general setup for it. I'm not going to be coding anything today because it is a Friday and I need to go and do other things that are not on my computer. I don't need the documentation. Modal trigger, that works quite nicely. So what did she do? She's got the modal dialog, which is in the section, which is sort of what I want as well. There's the H2, which is the modal trigger. Then the dialog is inside. So let's work through this together for the HTML parts. Most probably I'm gonna be injecting this with JavaScript, right? Where we made the div for the planet. That is where we would then insert the show model. Okay, it's button demo. So we'd create a button. Then the button would be actually where the button would actually be where is it? Where's my main JS? Here it is. The button would be where this would be. Okay. Create element div. Classes.add planet, which is fine within this div. So everything. So her div is her section is my div. So this is where everything I have right here. Then we're going to then loop through all of the stars related to this planet and append them to inside of the div. This is going to be a very JavaScript heavy project, but it's fine. We have a general game plan. I'm going to scaffold some stuff. Well, not right now, but I'm going to study this a bit more. So modal inner, which is fine. We're going to put the dialog inside. We create a dialog element, and inside the dialog element is when you put in everything. We loop over all of the stars related, and okay, then this is now the JavaScript. Okay, that looks fine. Everything looks fine here. So yeah, this was a short video, just a slight update and plans for our next feature. But most importantly, this is working. is working. This is working. Oh, somewhat. But yes. Let's reload again. Boom. And they all switch. Synthwave. Techno. House. House. Huh, actually, you know what? What I'm gonna do? Let us. Where's the model container? The parallax container. This is the wrong file. Style.css. Let me actually give you more. Huh. Maybe I'm the issue here. Let's do it 100 VH. Let's see if that changes anything. Okay, they're all very close together. Oh, when it's 100 VH, they all work. Oh, I'm the dum dum. Everything of mine was working. I am the dum dum. Boom. See, all of them are hovering. It could be further apart. Don't know how distribution would work, but it's fine. It's working. Everything is in order. Boom. Boom. So there's how many? 3 stars. Each planet has 10, but that should be when we now implement the model, when you can now click and then you have a list of all of the planets. But we have hover working. We've got 3 planets. We've got a bajillion songs. We've got so many constellations. It's all good. It's all good. It's all looking pretty. And yeah, I don't have anything major today, guys, but thank you for coming. Thank you for this journey. It has been very informative for me. I've been learning. I hope you've been learning as well. Again, if anyone wants me to go more in depth about explaining this JavaScript, I can, because right now I'm just going off of what I did earlier. I can sit down and do a proper, more in-depth explanation of how the JavaScript connects to the HTML, and then we go on to create elements in the HTML, even if there's nothing within our initial HTML. Yeah, that's it. The amount of times I've been signing off. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Signing out.